strong for them, but they did manage to stabilize at least with the 2.
Yeah, so Extreme being brought back into this roster initially for PCS5 for qualification was an enticing prospect, but he was someone whose stocks hadn't really been that high for a while. I think he had even taken a little bit of a break early on in the year, and there were a couple of moments, there was one game in particular that people like to reference of where the dust need to get shaken off a little bit. But he has been playing very, very well, at least the first 2 games so far. Vox as well, who has been in this game, been in the scene for almost forever, I think, from the very early days. And if they can continue to play like they have been, as long as they don't have those positioning mess ups in the mid game to get punished off of, then 300 could be a real prospect.
You're just over here keeping receipts on Extreme's game. You're like, that one game that we're going to reference. It should be noted that Gas Cans and SSG were on top of each other. They're going to separate out. Not too much crazy that's going on, as you can see for this week so far. Fiumba and Oath, each sitting on a win apiece, but just getting ready. The circle's going to pop, and interesting.
Okay. All right, so we do see SSG and Oath not fly to their Milta power positions because the plane was just too far west.
This is a lot more empty of a circle than these teams want it to be with 41 alive. That's why we're seeing a lot of these edge fights or people just clinging to a little bit of a dip off at the side of it. 300, though, has a little bit of vision on what's going on with Oath, but Oath is managing to hold the lineup. Vox goes down late in Extreme now to figure out how they're wanting to handle what's going on. Tries to go for a little bit of a pitch play off to one side of it, but gets spotted out as well. And this is just absolutely problematic for 300 now.
Had an opportunity on the Balefrost, but wasn't able to land the shots, and now Oath are able to stabilize their own fight. It's all into Extreme. A couple of good shots in, but doesn't get the knock. Now he can try and push into the next tree, but he has a difficult 1v3 ahead of him.
Bold, to say the least, coming out from 300's Extreme. Does line up into one, gets the knock onto him, but in the end, it's going to be Kickstart that gets the kill onto Extreme, getting now a little bit more space to work with as they have the space where they can reset, get their health up. Who doesn't have space, though, is going to be Young Kings, SSG, who are right next to each other. Swagger's already gone down inside of this fight. Now Young Kings, right on the edge of the zone, has to be very careful. Circle does pop right on top of SONIQS in this position with all of the fields to the west of them just wide out in the open.
I guess this is when every other team that's not the SONIQS makes the decision to go for kills. I mean, TSM also have a position, but other than that, it's all fighting on the edge. Fiumba trying to finish off Gas Cans. They've been holding off against each other for quite a while. It has allowed Gas Cans to get the revives necessary, but the grenades come in. Draft King gets knocked. Push is continuing. Captain Hand's also down. It's all into one.
It is so hazardous trying to make the push through these positions as it's just so many blind angles. Only Adam goes down inside that exchange, so they should be able to get the res. They should have a moment to reset. It's going to be SONIQS that has range and vision on what's going on. Space Station Gaming still contending with Young Kings that is very close to them. While this is happening, Oath is also repositioned and looks like they're trying to get involved in what's going on. And one has to be a little bit careful as now Kickstart has a little bit of vision in that position, and Young Kings finding themselves now pinched between 2 different teams.
Yeah, where can they go? They have to pick one of these 2 teams to fight, and SSG and Oath, they're both very, very rough teams to try and engage with, to say the least. Wildcard versus Dignitas. They've been giving Dignitas some space to work with because they're not trying to upset their whole game. But now the smoke's coming into play. Stray takes a bit of damage from the grenade. I don't know if he's known exactly, but now the set comes in. Young Kings, they drop one, they drop Bale, but now Flux and M1 are also taken out.
Jumps out, and it is just a catastrophe after that one. Oath does manage to get the retaliation shots back into it. Should be able to get the res as well. Wildcard, though, still finding themselves in some trouble as Dignitas is managing to creep forward. Remember, it was Wildcard that inadvertently helped them earlier by taking out EU United. Now Wildcard's having to contend with Dignitas, who is moving slowly and steadily into this position, and it is just Zealot that is up, hoping that he gets a side angle onto it. Does manage to take down Sparking, but Punage should be completely aware of this now, and oh, Zealot's going to go ahead and go for the flush into it. Punage, and now it is just a dance around the smoke. Who's going to see who first? Zealot seems like he has an idea on exactly the approach it's going to be coming from, but it's opposite side. Now retreating away from the tree, going to lean out around from it, does a little bit of juke, and there you go. Dignitas goes down, but at the cost of multiple members on Wild.
Yeah, that's the problem. They set themselves up for a much better engagement than this, but the hold wasn't successful. They lost 3 members, and though they could have gone into the late game with 4 members up, it is just Zealot remaining. That's how important and crucial it is to pick your fights wisely. And now Zealot, his only option is
not
really...
this way.
Where else can he send it, though? He can't send it into Pachinki. He can't send it to the field. This is really his only option. Slow roll up. I think SSG might know.
Oh.
Yep, they spot him.
Trying to hold it through. He's just got too many people coming after him, as well as the blue. Tap it off there at the end, so Wildcard does get eliminated, leaving us with 7 teams, 22 alive, and really, it's going to be trench warfare coming out from here. As you can see, Gas Cans now looking into Synergy's position. SONIQS still comfortable inside their compound that they're holding down at the time. And there you go. Gas Cans. NiKos gets a vision on Synergy, making the play on the side. And there you go. It's also going to be SONIQS that gets a little bit of vision on the moves. And that might slow down a little bit of what's going out on the other side. Fisher does manage to take down NiKos. But it is a complete Overwatch position right now, as Gas Cans thought that they had an opportunity. But between the defensive line holding up for Synergy as well as SONIQS at range, it is very complicated to even take a step forward.
Revive onto NiKos comes out, but it is only 2 remaining for Gas Cans. Smokes as well for defense to not get shot at as wildly by the SONIQS. But still, with only 2, they're going to have to take care
TSM.
of. Okay, hold that thought. TSM pushing in onto the SONIQS, and a great grenade by M1ME.
Perfectly cooked up. 2 members of TSM rolling right into the wrong neighborhood. Space Station Gaming getting a little bit of tap in there, saying, hey, I'll go ahead and take some of those kills. The opposite side of it, SG is going to have to contend with BT as they're making their approach into this one. So now we do have multiple members up for TSM. SSG going to use this opportunity to roll right by where we see SONIQS. TSM holding down position, and they're going to hit the other side of SONIQS. So now SONIQS find themselves pinched between 2 hyper-aggressive teams. 2 members already down for SSG as they make their approach. Now just a defensive line holding up for SONIQS as they've got toys to play with and a great way to defend this.
Shrimzy trapped in a closet, but the flash comes out, trying to take the fight, and we actually can take it. It's a trade. But SONIQS still come out on top. SSG might have just crossed their fingers and hoped that SONIQS were only holding the top half and they were going to go for the allegedly weaker team, but SONIQS, they're holding down the entire thing.
That was absolutely insane. The amount of shot calling and the trust and the capabilities and the information processing that SONIQS had to use to handle 2 quick crashes like that and not lose anyone.
Push onto SSG without the threat of a third party because they want the kills, right? Like, there's no big risk to them. And so all the smokes are needed to come out, not necessarily to defend from SG, but to defend against Oath on the high ground. Ooh, good hit, headshot on a kickstart. That's going to slow it down. But the grenades are coming in from SG. Gas Can's forced to hide in the smoke.
Oh, Pippa drops it right on top of NiKos. Now it is just Hikerman trying to see if maybe he can inch his way forward, but SG, they don't care. They're like, we can't even move. We've got SONIQS on the other side of it. Maybe they can harass Oath. And again, this is what SONIQS want. They just want everything to come apart off to the side of it. 1 member now down for SG as Gas Cans get eliminated. This is a 2-2 looking at each other while there is still a 4-man SONIQS just waiting with bated breath to see if they can pick up a couple of kills. And SG, that might not be the way to go. There's not too many different options to play with there. It's going to be picked up on both sides. And now it's just Oath versus SONIQS.
Now SONIQS, they see that and they immediately leave their compound knowing that Oath are all in the corner. It's going to take them a quick second to get back into position to hold this push. M1ME is already dead center of phase 7. We have 1 more shift ahead of us.
That was the hope. That was the hope that I had for Oath, was that they could at least have Circle and get control onto that. But SONIQS already has a read on it, sending M1ME into that position. Tiggleton is back up. Hwinn is already flanking across the north, making sure that there's nobody playing along the edge. It's just a matter of time till somebody gets vision on Oath, and there you go. It's going to be Hwinn harassing, already spotting out, gonna feed that information back over. A quick lean off to the side of it, and there you go. SONIQS pick up their first chicken dinner of the weekend.
I think that there was a possibility of Oath of winning out that one. But SONIQS saw what happened in front of them. Even without seeing Oath directly with their own eyes, they read the kill feed, they knew where the positioning was, and they took full advantage of that. They didn't even need that shift in their favor at the end there to take this game. Let's be honest, not the hardest game for SONIQS.
True.
11 kills.